Oh, now I got you. Yeah.
How's the volume?
A little too loud.
Brandon.
Good to see you.
Yeah, look forward to the conversation.
This will be fun.
Certainly thinking about the
What about the spouse issue, though? Because Brandon raised it, and it's critical. I mean, either you're following somebody, or you might both be military, and yet you're both going to pick up and move, and that's going to be a jarring transformation.
Sure. So let's start with the legislative front. And in 2012, North Carolina passed a law that says, essentially, we need to recognize other state licenses or provide an expedited pathway to get spouses and military service members, those credentials, recognized in our state. That was in 2012, supposed to be enacted by 2013. Haven't heard much from it. There have been some groups that have done a tremendous job. I'm told that the Dental Association in North Carolina has done a fantastic job with it, but it was legislation that wasn't married up with a movement, and that is the gap area. So Congress can legislate on that. It can be very supportive, right? But if it's not measured up with some type of community-based, state-based, regional-based push, then it's going to be thrown by the wayside. To zoom in on this military spouse issue, though, it's not just an issue, it's an opportunity.
Yeah.
But you hire
highly
spouses,
qualified.
right?
That's right. Yeah, that's a specific area that we focus on, because the work in a lot of the companies that I invest in, and the one I was talking about that I co-founded, is distributed work. And when you can move the work out through technology to the edge, to rural communities, military bases, you get access to a new work type.
When you say distributed work, you mean work from home?
Work from home, excuse me, yeah, work from home. And the military spouses also many times want to work around a schedule, right? So they're not, 9 to 5, even if they went off base, they wouldn't be 9 to 5. And so matching the demand for the work with the skills of the work, and then the tools. The tools of the distributed workforce is high-speed internet and a good computer. And if you have the tools of the high-speed internet and the computer, and then you can get the online education to get the tools of your certifications, then you can work anywhere, and that's a sustainable career path job, which is different than having kind of a low skill, low pay job.
So it circles back once again to employer private sector understanding of what some of the challenges are. We had an individual, a female, military spouse. Her husband, she was a caregiver as well as a full-time employee. Her husband was injured and needed special care that could only be obtained in Denver, and she was in Florida. Mm-hmm. She asked for a transfer. Now, if that supervisor had no clue what the requirements were, why you had to move to Denver to get special medical care from the VA there, that wouldn't have happened. But it happened, and do you think she will not be the most loyal employee for the rest of her life? I mean, so it goes back to that understanding of the challenges of our military community.
One of the things we haven't talked about that's another inexcusable issue right now is the lack of reciprocity between states for all sorts of licensure. And you want to talk about an issue that affects military generally and military spouses very specifically, right? This is it. So I have a good friend from high school, went to the Air Force Academy, veteran herself, and they've moved pretty much every 2.5 years, right? She got her master's degree when they were stationed in Nebraska, was planning to become a licensed marriage counselor or therapist, and knew that they were probably going to be heading somewhere out of Nebraska after that. Started looking into whether her licensure, if she were to seek it in, marriage therapy and counseling they realized they were heading to California. It was like another 3,000 hours that she was going to have to add to that. Yeah. So she just stopped. So here was somebody that, went down the path, finished a master's degree, had an idea of what she was going to do, so there's the ones who know what they want to do, and then saw these ridiculous barriers. The fact that, talk about a layup, in my opinion, for Congress right now, is to figure out how to say, for veterans and for military spouses, if we can't recognize licensure across states, at least for them, what the heck can we do?
So,
right?
Listen, I could take the story even farther back. So my mom was a riveter in World War II, right? And my dad served in World War II stateside. At 45, decided to go back to college, got a degree in special education. We moved from Buffalo, New York to Los Angeles, California. California would not recognize her degree in special education. She taught in Catholic school for $30,000 a year, where her special ed skills would have gotten her a $100,000 a year job. Right. And that was true 45 years ago. And so this is clearly, for spouses, something that's really important.
The number one reason people leave the all-volunteer force is because their spouses are not duly employed. It's a dual income society out there. So it's way bigger than let's help veterans get jobs. It's let's protect this country. And so people will join the all-volunteer force and know that they will be embraced when they return. But if we have a separate civilian population that has no clue what the military is doing, that system is going to fall apart. And guess what we're back to?
Draft.
The draft.